dominated the world have used money to rule it and have ruled it in their own interest. It looks at a world economic system that has no regard for the poor, that has no regard for the small nations, that has no regard for the poor of the small nations. And the policy is a dignified policy, it's not a violent policy, it's not a policy of guns. It's a very honorable policy, but it is a very clear policy. It is a policy that calls the poor of the world to stand together, to stand firm together, to struggle together, to struggle for change, to struggle for justice, to struggle through organization, to struggle through will, to struggle through determination, to struggle to build a new kind of world in which your children and mine will walk with more dignity, with better housing, with better opportunity, with better prices, with better response from the World Monetary System. That is the world to which I call you. That is the world for which I struggle, and no power will turn me back from that world. And comrades, if you go and walk with me, if you go and step with me, if you go and move with me, we're moving as warriors. We're moving in determination. We're moving to struggle. We're moving to change that world. No power will turn us back.
Me ever fresh, me no green.
Me coulda never green, dog. Me no chow chow. No. Ha 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 ho ho. Who you know?
But if change is what we really want to see, ladies and gentlemen, then we must rise up. We must unite. We must advocate. We cannot remain silent. Where are the young men, the young women, the men, the women, the boys, the girls who will put aside political divide and do what is best for Jamaica? Eternal Father, bless our land. Guide us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil powers. Be our light through countless hours. Even our pledge, our national pledge, says before God and all mankind, we cannot see a better Jamaica unless we return to the foot of the cross. Jamaica under God must increase in beauty, fellowship and prosperity, and play our part.
If I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they haven't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right. And so just as I say we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And he's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
I said I'm happy every day as I travel through this land. I've been mighty blessed by God, and I'm holding to his hand. Yes, mommy, I see you. Yes, the journey is almost over. Shut up. And the battle is nearly won. And I have a feeling. I have a feeling in my heart. The best is yet to come. Fly coffee over there, so wanna ready to get get up no man. Wanna get up no man. I feel mad in this place. Let's go. I am happy every day as I travel through this land. I've been mighty blessed by God, and I'm holding to his. Over there, so I said the journey's almost over. I know the battle is nearly won, and I have a feeling in my heart the best is yet. Come on, church. I said the best is yet to come. When I walk through heaven's gates, yeah, I said the first time I'll see Jesus. I can hardly wait. And he showed me to a mansion and said, child, this is your home. And I have a feeling in my heart. You know this one? Listen, shut.
Oh, you know.
I want to hear the angels singing. I want to be in that number. I want to hear that trumpet song. We have done now. I want to hear archangel voice. I want to hear archangel. Oh, I want to hear when my name is called. I want to hear. Everybody know I want to hear. I want to hear. I want to hear. I want to hear. Watch out now. I want to see the angel marching. I want to be in that number. I want to hear. I want to hear that trumpet song. I want to hear archangel voice. I want to hear. God bless you now. I want to hear. When my name is called, I want to hear. Everybody this up. If I'm not living for Christ, then I cannot be here. Get something and wave it. Get something and wave it. Get something out. If I'm not living for Christ, then I cannot be happy. Walk out, Christian, walk out, Christian. I only live my life to please. Send me rocking for the road and the star on my phone. I only live my life to please. Live up my life. Come on, we have done, man. Everybody, so. Live up my life. Jesus. This is silent night. What a holy night. But your virgin mother and child. Holy, so tender. Talk to me now. But sweetly,
blood and fire, comrades who are in jungle tonight. On the nose that the word is love. Comrades, me come with a speech, but it's a different speech me have to give tonight. But before I go into that, we have been saying all night that young people know say time come. And I want to bring up a young man who has looked for himself, him read for himself, him search for himself, and when him done, him realize that the only choice he could choose is the People's National Party. And I want to welcome Comrade Perry.
Hold on. We don't have much time. When I say time, you say come. Time. Senator Murray, somebody asked me, Perry, why aren't you a Labourite? Me ever fresh, me no green.
Me coulda never green dog, me no chow. No. Ha, ho. Who ya know? Underpants, Paulo. We the gal in the
Hold on, cut in, man, hold on.
Me coulda never green.
Hold on, no DJ, man, hold on. I don't have much time. The next Prime Minister, let me shake your hands, so big up yourself, Mark Golding, Jensek, and brother, Dayton Campbell Doctor. Listen, in 1938, the People's National Party was formed out of the vision to help the poor people. It was born out of restlessness of the people seeking for better. And I believe that the People's National Party continues to be the answer for the people. Can I hear an amen? Hold on. In 1995, under the auspices of PJ Patterson, the most honorable, there was a revitalization and an extension of the new National Youth Service Program, which gave young people the opportunity to earn Commander Man Church. It gave people the opportunity to better themselves. I don't have much time, but hear what? I hear the other people them say, you must choose Jamaica, but you can't choose Jamaica without choosing the people. God bless you.
Me coulda never green dog, me no chow. No. Ha, ho. Me coulda never green dog, me no chow.
Move your blood, comrades.
Comrades, I want to let you know that young man is the former guild president at the University of the West Indies. That is the kind of young people that we attract in the People's National Party.
A corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also. I do not support corruption. Corruption takes money away from children's education. It deprives hospitals of basic necessities. It means that roads are not fixed. Corruption deepens inequality. It siphons off taxpayers' money to make a few cronies richer with the political connections instead of benefiting the people. This government has been doing everything it can to weaken and undermine the Integrity Commission, which is an institution that I designed as Minister of Justice and brought the legislation to Parliament to fight corruption in this country. I have said it before and I will tell you again. Jamaica cannot move forward without a government built on integrity that embraces principles of good governance in this country.
The perspective with Perry Cummings Jr. Big up yourself. The best is yet to come. This is my perspective, telling you my perspective. This is my perspective to bring change that I feel me objective. Scandal after scandal, look where Jamaica come to. Them a rob the money and a thief a lot too. Election tactics, what a disgrace. Them cut off ribbon and the place no safe. Mr. Prime Minister, are you me a address? Police a kill off the youth if you check. Talking about the way country are the best. But though this is my perspective, telling you my perspective. This is my perspective to bring change that I feel.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to you all. Good evening, good night. I hope that you are doing well. It is the 3rd of June 2026. My, what a day it has been. What a day, ladies and gentlemen. What a day. I cannot say it enough. I am extremely proud of the People's National Party. We had a wonderful time today on Clarion Call. We had an extended program because of Parliament. Again, we had 2 sectoral debates from Peter Bunting and from Zuleika Jess, and we had to stick and stay with them in Parliament, hence why we started at 7 p.m. tonight. But there are no regrets, because if you missed it, I'm telling you, you missed something. The opposition, ladies and gentlemen, totally, they represented not just the opposition well, but they represented the average well-thinking Jamaican citizen in this country. It was pure class. It was just class on display. I tell you, and while we appreciate all the presenters from yesterday, as a matter of fact, Dr. Dayton Campbell and Christopher Brown, it was today I was showing my mother the conclusion of Christopher Brown's speech. It really stuck with me, so much so that I had to post just that ending on my personal TikTok. And if anybody knows me, I try not to post political content on my TikTok page because I already have a platform dedicated for politics. But the video was so it was such a captivating moment. Jamaica has to get it right. It stuck with me, and I just had to post it because I'm telling you, from yesterday, the opposition, they have been doing extremely well, and today we saw a brilliant Peter Bunting as per usual. For those who don't know, Peter Bunting is one of the heavy hitters in the People's National Party, and we saw Peter Bunting last year in the debates just how resolute he was, and today was no different, right? He called out the Prime Minister, he called out the government, he defined what it really means to have a productive society, because he's the opposition spokesperson on productivity as well, and he made an important comparison between productivity and corruption and how corruption slows down our productivity. He called out the Prime Minister how he tried to, well, not even try, how the Prime Minister continues to weaken the very institutions that were set up to fight against corruption. He mentioned the Integrity Commission, ladies and gentlemen. He mentioned the Supreme Court that ruled the mining as unconstitutional, yet the Prime Minister gave the go-ahead years ago, and I believe the government is to, or if they have not already, sought to appeal the ruling of the Supreme Court for something that is unconstitutional. It tells you that this government, they're off their rockers. It's a disgraceful administration. And to put the icing on the cake, one of our newest members of parliament, ladies and gentlemen, Zulika Jess, opposition spokesperson on justice, mighty God of Daniel, let me tell you something. I was just laughing and enjoying myself the entire.
Me ever fresh, me no green.
Me coulda never green dog, me no chow chow. No. Ha 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 ho ho. Who ya know?
I was enjoying myself the entire time. When I tell you that I got this cup as a gift when I was a speaker somewhere, you're probably not seeing it well, but it's my favorite cup because this church, they printed my picture on the cup. It's one of my favorite gifts. You like the cup, ladies and gentlemen? Love it. And this is one of my favorite pictures as well. Yeah. But I'm telling you, Zulika Jess, mighty, she called out the Minister of Justice, Delroy Chuck, who didn't know what a point of order is. Even the Speaker of the House, she had to correct Delroy Chuck because his horns were mashed because Zulika Jess was exposing the government, the Ministry of Justice, their incompetence, how the money is there according to Delroy Chuck, yet still the courthouse, I believe in what, Westmoreland, still not rehabilitated, still not fixed. The people have to be traveling from Westmoreland to where, Hanover, to uphold justice in the country, yet they refuse to spend the money to repair the infrastructure. Atela Zulika beat them, she beat, and she teach, and she beat, and she. Terry Long start chat Spanish. Well, he didn't literally talk Spanish, but Terry Long, he have to start talk. Everybody a shout. Delroy Chuck get up on a point of order. Madam Speaker, he said, no, name me the standing, name me the number. What is the standing order that you're interrupting the opposition on? Him could tell them, him have to say, go on. It was an embarrassment for the JLP, ladies and gentlemen. I laughed. I jeered. When I tell you that Zulika Jess talk about how the JPs, they are not being compensated in any real way for the work that the JPs do. Where's the Greek Jamaica? Terlang start speaking tongues, because the only time you hear Terlang is when him start talk different language, you know. Because all him a talk today, I never know what Terlang was saying. I couldn't tell you what.
And usher him out. Take his microphone and usher him out. Take his microphone. Just a minute. Take his microphone. Usher him out. Take his microphone and usher him out. Take his microphone. Usher him out. Usher him out. Usher him out. Usher him out.
Yeah, yes, Mr. Marshy, man. Bless you.
Just a bit. Me have to come on this evening. Me must talk too often nowadays. But you know, me have to say so.
Yes.
You know, make Terry Long appear along so brethren.
Why?
Terry Long
When you say Kerry Long or Terry Long?
Terry Long. Yeah, Terry Long, Patrick Daly, and Shane Dalling. Them are chamber pot and batty, you know.
Oh!
Them are big friend. One incident it was a certain place. And one man dead. We not call no name.
No.
You know, said Terry Long him do that. All of them are friend.
Okay.
The whole of them are friend. So that's why you see how Terry Long get so upset. So tell me something. Chuck. Chuck a really liar.
I am trying to understand. Chuck isn't supposed to be some king's counsel or something like that?
No, that person, no, not even village liar, not so stupid. But let me tell you something. Jaluka Jess, me not telling a lie. My friend Jaluka, you know simple.
No, she tough. Yeah, man.
And today me prove at 72. Today she proved to me. Say hot liquor and batty no agree. No man, she put it on.
Yes,
and
man.
You know the labor right in the house, them have a disruptive attitude.
Yes.
Anytime you call them out, one of them just come up with this thing. Point of order.
Point of order.
And they do it. And I must say, since we curse Juliet Wellness all the while, it only fair. She do the right thing.
She did. Yes, she did, because she act Marshall. What she actually did, you know, was to show up that Delroy Chuck himself does not know the standing orders. She gave Chuck the opportunity. She said, member, what are you what is it that you're bringing? You can't bring a point. Is a member misleading the house is not a point of order. Exactly.
You know, yeah, man. So she did a good job today, and it's not because she talk in favor of the PNP.
No.
The truth is the truth. If you do the right thing, I'm going to applaud you, Mr. Wellness. And this is the way you must behave. If the PNP go wrong, call them out. Because I like to show that you were not. You never intend to be biased to it. Because one at a time you make the PNP know, so if they're not stopping it, what will happen? And you know, and I have to agree with her. So good job to Luca Jess. Good job today, Madam Speaker. But Jaluka Jess, you take the cake, you take the bulla, you take the bun, you take the bread, you take the everything today.
Yes.
And they can't lie you and tell. You put it on left, right, and center. Well done. But you know something?
Yes.
It come like the PNP, you know, they walk around and they look bright people everywhere they can't find it.
Yes.
You realize that all the members of the PNP, they can get up and they can talk?
Of course.
All of them are pure. If you don't, you know, say don't so and then God. Because you have done so and name, sitting under the Phyllis. Venetia Phyllis. You know, say she has to God.
What happened to them? What happened to them?
See, this she faded. Like they are like the chaff that the wind drive it away. You have a next one that we name Rue. Him did have to gone, you know.
Yes.
I don't stand there, you know. Then did have to gone. Why the look at this, man, I tell you, you turn it up to the. You have this nice, sweet voice, but me never know you could have turn it up. You are a brilliant. Now, kudos to Mark Golden.
Yes.
Because he really can't see the brilliantness, the greatness in you people. Well done. Lift up yourself, Perry.
Yes.
Lift up yourself.
Yes, Marshall.
I hope just before I go, I hope Shane Dalling knows I must go on.
Yes.
Serious.
Yeah, he's serious.
You must go on, Dalling. You must go on, Andrew Willis put you there. Whatever corruption him put you there. See you perform. Time up. Go on now. Because you're being exposed.
Yes.
And that's why they never did want the things at table. And that's why they didn't want to know why night, because they know the wrongs where them do.
Yes.
I mean, I can tell you something. Think you PNP a fool. Somebody get wind of something.
Yes, man.
And export that side. The PNP turn up on their foot say it's off the table. Your corruption, see exports. We gone.
Alright, Marsha, bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know where you're viewing from in the chat. We're gonna dive right into the show. We have a few things to touch on. A few things. Donna, I see you in the chat, man. How you do? Let us dive right in. Of course, just called for the resignation. The People's National Party. The People's National Party, they have called for the resignation of Shane Dalling. We're gonna get right into it. Blessings, Silo, St. Elizabeth, Kingston, Mapen, Clarendon, Cayman, New Jersey, England, Kingston 20, Ian Nathan, blessings, Louisa, blessings, Manchester, Fort Lauderdale, Listowel, Ontario, Canada, blessings, Rosemount, St. James, Friendship, Monique, Springfield, Massachusetts, Loidersville, St. Catherine, Uncle Johnny, Outer Lauderdale, Florida, Delaware, North Carolina, blessings, Lawrenceville, Georgia, blessings, None Such East Portland, Canada is here, Bronx, Western CA, South St. Catherine, West Rural St. Andrew, Atlanta, Georgia. My God, come on in, ladies and gentlemen. Islington, St. Mary, come on, Cincinnati, Ohio, Port Antonio, Upper St. Andrew, Southfield, St. Elizabeth, Mountain View, Kingston, Christiana, come on, Falmouth, Stuart, Castle, Duncan, blessings, Portmore, Uncle Morris out there in Delaware, Newcastle, yes, Winchester, Virginia, Connecticut, Queens, New York, Portmore, Pines, and my place that same way too, you know, man. Who else? Montreal, Canada, blessings, Philadelphia is here. Portland Eastern is here. Somebody asked what is in my cup. All that is in my cup is Carlsberg juice. Portsmouth, Virginia, USA, Hanover. Blessings. Come on in, like up the live. Remember to like up the live, ladies and gentlemen. The aim is 500 likes every time we're here. Another person from Cincinnati, Ohio. Sam, blessings. Somebody's from Pakistan. Big up to the Pakistani, I don't know how you call it, but big up all of those who are in Pakistan. I know Pakistan to be good at cricket, so blessings to everybody. Wisconsin and many more from all over the world. It's a pleasure to have you. This is The Perspective, and I'm your host, Perry Cummings Jr. Let's get right into it. Houston, Texas, Westmoreland, blessings. Well, I believe Marshy really and truly, drove us in the right direction, because we're going to have to talk about the FLA. For those who didn't know, the Integrity Commission's report about the allegations of corruption into the Firearm Licensing Agency, which is an arm of the government, was flagged with several allegations of corruption, from the manipulation of data to improper storage to missing ammunition to dead man accessing, it is just so crazy. And of course you heard it today in Parliament. Zuleika Jess, the opposition spokesperson on justice, called without no regrets, I believe, she called for the resignation of the CEO of FLA, Shane Dalling. He is in hot water. You realize that this conversation is not as big as how it should be, in my view, from my perspective. I believe that this FLA saga should be a much bigger conversation. But the labor rights have time to be talking about other matters. This is what we should be talking about. And how is it that a very sensitive agency like the FLA can have such a wealth of allegations, serious allegations against the executive arm of the FLA, including the CEO? Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome back to Primetime News.
And a special welcome once again to our viewers on TVJ International in the Cayman Islands and online at onespotmedia.com.
First up this evening, the Integrity Commission's report on its findings into the operations of the Firearm Licensing Authority, FLA, was tabled in Parliament on Tuesday.
The investigation, which spanned several years, examined allegations of mismanagement, oversight failures, and other concerns within the agency.
We have the details in this report.
A major investigation into Jamaica's Firearm Licensing Authority has uncovered accountability gaps, missing ammunition, and irregularities in its licensing system. The findings are contained in an investigation report compiled by the Integrity Commission. The probe, which began in 2021, examined allegations of corruption, improper licensing practices, and weaknesses in how firearms and ammunition are stored. Investigators found that while no firearms earmarked for destruction were missing, at least 190 rounds of .22 ammunition could not be accounted for at the authority's main vault. The report also highlighted serious weaknesses in inventory management. It noted that only about 17% of the recorded entries were checked, and several discrepancies, including deteriorating storage bags and poor record keeping, were identified. In addition, the Commission concluded that the authority's license management system was manipulated, with inaccurate information entered into a dealer's account without his request or consent. The investigation found that one set of transactions showed thousands of rounds of ammunition being purchased by individuals who either denied the purchases or, in one case, was already dead at the time. Despite these concerns, the Commission determined that the authority acted within its legal powers when it revoked certain firearm licenses linked to the investigation. However, in relation to allegations of corruption involving staff, the report says investigators were unable to reach definitive conclusions due to insufficient evidence. The Commission is recommending urgent reforms, including improvements to storage conditions, stronger controls over data entry in the licensing system, and the establishment of proper data backup systems. It is also urging a full independent audit of all FLA vaults to determine the extent of unaccounted ammunition and to strengthen oversight. Nakinsky Robinson, TVJ News.
Serious business. Very, very serious. Missing ammunition. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever wondered how could some of these gunmen in our country could have access to thousands of rounds of ammunition? Even I remember the shootout, the famous shootout of Brown Man. Was it in Clarendon? Don't quote me on that, ladies and gentlemen. But I believe it was Brown Man who was eventually shot and killed by the police as he was in a major shootout with the police officers. They said that he had bullets for days, as if this man was ready to go to war with another country. With these serious allegations, ladies and gentlemen, into the FLA, one must ask and one can fairly speculate in question if the FLA is somehow providing Mandeville, thank you, Mandeville, not Clarendon, Mandeville, thank you. One could speculate, and rightly so, fairly so, if the FLA could be a provider of ammunition to some of these gunmen, because you have to ask yourself the question, where are they getting the ammunition from? Can you believe it, ladies and gentlemen? Guns too, Cersei. But I want to point out something, and I make no mistakes for doing investigative journalism, you know, because I now have an interest in knowing who this Shane Dalling is, and I did a little research.
In June 2017, oh, what a coincidence. Aren't we in the month of June? In June 2017, following a major overhaul of the FLA board, orchestrated by the Holness-led administration, we saw the appointment of Shane Dalling. The overhaul of the Firearm Licensing Authority FLA under the Prime Minister Andrew Holness' administration occurred in major waves, heavily triggered by corruption scandals involving the issuance of gun permits to individuals deemed unfit or with questionable background. So what we can say right off the bat, that the allegations against the FLA regarding the many scandals that we are seeing now in the available report for the world to read and to see, it is not new. From as far back as 2017 or even before that, ladies and gentlemen, right? We saw an overhaul in 2017 that was led by the Andrew Holness-led administration. It was through that shake-up of the FLA we saw Shane Dalling being appointed as CEO. I find it very interesting. In August 2017, just months after Shane Dalling took office as CEO, a major scandal erupted, revealing that firearm licenses were being granted to individuals with adverse intelligence traces and criminal backgrounds. Just months after Shane Dalling took office as CEO under the Andrew Holness-led administration, just months after that, there was a major scandal revealing that firearm licenses were being granted to individuals with all type of criminal background. Following intensive debriefing sessions led by Prime Minister Andrew Holness and then National Security Minister Robert Montague, the entire FLA Board of Directors resigned to protect their integrity and that of the institution. But I uno put in Shane Dalling, eh? What a disgrace. We're just giving you the timeline here. In 2019, responding to governance vulnerabilities exposed at the FLA and other state boards, Prime Minister Holness introduced a new, stricter regime for appointing public boards. This system added explicit fit-for-proper criteria to ensure board selection prioritized professional competence over political affiliation. Look at the Prime Minister advocating for boards in 2019, but for NARA, we don't need a board. You see how hypocritical the entire Andrew Holness administration is? You see how hypocritical the entire administration is? It's a disgrace, ladies and gentlemen. I wonder if this is the reason why the House of Parliament was trying their best to prevent the tabling of the report, because they know that advocates like myself and critical thinkers like my family on the perspective would make a correlation between the appointment of Shane Dalling and the Andrew Holness administration from 2017. Mr. Holness, you have some answers to provide, you know. Because you people claim that you did a shake-up of FLA because of its corruption, but you all sought to the overhaul and we had a Shane Dalling and nothing changed. As a matter of fact, the FLA got worse under Shane Dalling. Just months after his appointment to CEO in August, there was another major scandal. It seems as if everything that the JLP touches becomes bitter. It becomes corrupt, tainted. What a disgrace, ladies and gentlemen. It had to happen under the Andrew Holness-led administration. Listen to the let me take this call. Powell is calling me. I know it is something important. Powell, Greetings, man.
Yeah, hey.
Yes.
What's up?
I'm good, man. You alright?
Good night, man. And good night to all the listeners.
Yes.
And the Perspective family. You know, for a person who have gone through a certain service or organization in this country who knows what investigations and offenses or crimes are committed. I am starting to look at the IC. They are not just there to highlight malpractices. They are there to recommend prosecution.
Yes.
No. If somebody purchase rounds in a deceased name, why is it no charges recommended?
I'm wondering too. We're not going to get to that, you know.
If somebody purchase rounds into a company's name and thing that did not purchase those, why is it no charges are recommended?
My God, you're right.
Those are fraud. Those are fraud.
Fraud.
And I'm not asking you, I'm telling you.
Yes.
So they should recommend that charges be laid. Well, okay, fine. I understand. From the little I'm getting from the reporter, you know, it is not coming out fully. You're getting bits and pieces.
Yes.
But from the recommendations, from the report, I mean, then they are saying some names and initials and the whole 9 yards. No, they should try to establish who these initials are, who made these recommendations, who caused these things to be erased from the computer before you even put out this report. So that when you put out the report, you can make a comprehensive report and make your recommendations.
Yes.
It is like, to me, and I'm not saying in no shape or form that the IC is corrupt or doing something untoward. All I am saying is, before you put out these things, try to establish all the facts.
Yes.
Because when you're going to write a report, as you would have known, you capture all the necessary things so that when you complete this report, you make your recommendations.
Yes.
What are the recommendations? What are the recommendations? No, somebody go and purchase rounds in a deceased's name.
That's fraud. That's fraud.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Somebody go and order rounds on behalf of a company or a dealer that was closed, not doing no business. A fraud.
Fraud.
Rounds and firearms are kept missing. Rounds bag pouring and bugs rounds missing from it. Who is the person in charge of this armory where you keep your firearm and your rounds? That person must account.
Yes. Somebody must be held accountable, Mr. Paul.
It can't be just willy-nilly that you are keeping important things of firearm and ammunition and you give access to anybody. You must know who you trust. If you trust anyone, and if you don't trust anyone, it must be you who is entering that army. So then when something is missing, you must give account.
Must give an account.
So why no recommendation for charges?
Yeah, we're gonna dive into it.
I see need for real and come again, man.
Yes, I get you. Strong point.
Real and come again.
Strong point. I was disappointed with the no recommendations for charges.
I used to be in charge. And I know what accountability is like.
Yes.
Certain sensitive areas, I treat with it. I don't give nobody access to that. Because at the end of the day, regardless of what one want to say, the buck stop with me.
Yes.
So I'll have to give account.
Yes, it's true.
So the IC need to look into themselves. Come back to us. Why no recommendation for charges?
Thank you, Powell. Thank you so much.
Outside of that, I am wondering why Shane Dalling is still in charge of the FLA. He should have handed his resignation.
Yes, I'm wondering.
Parliament got the report.
Yes,
he should have run into court to try to disrupt the whole. He should have. Listen, there's no two ways about it, you know. You fail miserably. So, if the minister failed to ask for his resignation and the prime minister failed to ask for his resignation, then it means there's absolutely no accountability. The country is an office just run by itself. Nobody, there's no control.
Lawlessness, I call it, Mr. Powell. Lawlessness.
Yeah, man. Nobody is in charge. Absolutely nobody is in charge. It's like you know. honestly, Super, the country is in a very disastrous condition right now. Seriously, there is no accountability. Autopilot, everybody does what they like. The Prime Minister can't talk to nobody. The Deputy Prime Minister can't talk to anybody. Because guess what? Everybody have them secrets, so you can't talk to me because I know what you do.
Dark day.
I am wondering now, Sir Perry. When people like Jackson Miller, I wouldn't even talk about those in the parliament. John Jackson Miller and those who ready to jump down on Nikisha. Where are they? No. Where are they now?
Yeah, I'm waiting to see if they will take up this FLA report.
When Rosalie came out with some damning voice messages talking about people being displaced by being burning out of their place so that MP can buy the lot. I never hear them. So you want to tell me that we reach a point where we are so compromised that we lost our morals?
Boy, I tell you.
There's no integrity.
No, there's no integrity with this government, Powell.
It is serious. It is serious.
All right, Powell. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good one. I'm back in class.
Yes, man. Thank you so much. You know, it's a very serious thing. Listen to this was the ploy all along, you know. Listen to this.
In the meantime, the Ministry of National Security says it has full confidence in the Firearm Licensing Authority despite the Integrity Commission probe into alleged irregularities at the agency. According to Portfolio Minister Dr. Horace Chang, He said the investigation completed in March examined allegations of corruption, improper conduct, and the issues surrounding the storage and award of firearms. However, he notes the findings did not recommend any criminal charges. He also says there's no evidence that firearms are missing from the authorities' main vault. Following the report, he says a ministry team inspected the FLA's facilities. While officials identified limitations in storage space, they say systems are in place to properly track and account for all firearms and ammunition. Steps, he adds, are now being taken to improve storage capacity and disposal processes, including plans to acquire additional equipment to destroy weapons forfeited to the state. The minister has also directed the newly appointed board, chaired by retired Justice Glenworth Brown, to strengthen processes based on the commission's final recommendations. He clarified that recent board changes are not linked to the investigation, but are due to the expiration of the previous board's term. Dr. Chang says the ministry remains committed to accountability and strengthening public confidence in the Firearm Licensing Authority.
So the Minister of National Security, he is happy that there were no and as our caller just said, there has been no recommendations for any charges to be made, ladies and gentlemen. So really and truly what we're left with is just a report with very serious allegations, very serious findings, but what is being told to us is that these findings are not enough to recommend anybody to be charged, not even the CEO of the agency, with the 16 names in the IC report, because I read the first part of the FLA report and I read about 16 different names mentioned, most of them around 95% of the names, the important names, or the names linked to the investigation. All of them, most of them, are FLA staff. About one member of them, one of them is a member of the JDF. And you're telling me with all, let me just quickly summarize what is in the FLA report. Because you know, with the power of AI, we can get the main ideas here. The Integrity Commission's IC 131 page, I probably read about 10 pages out of it, it's long, investigative report into the Firearm Licensing Authority details severe administrative and operational flaws. Tabled in Parliament in June 2026, the findings focus on data manipulation, severe inventory discrepancies, and severe gaps in internal accountability. Data manipulation. The IC found that the FLA's database was manipulated to target a licensed gun dealer. For instance, a database administrator generated false sales contract transactions. A fraud, you know. A database administrator. That means this is somebody who works at the FLA. A staff internal to the agency. A database administrator generated false sales transactions, including claims that ammunition was purchased by a dead man. Missing ammunition and server loss. A catastrophic server failure erased key data and internal correspondence. Furthermore, significant inventory gaps were found in the main vault, with thousands of rounds of ammunition unaccounted for and potentially missing firearms masked by false destruction records. Deteriorating storage vaults. The report cited severe physical mismanagement, including overcrowded vaults, deteriorating packaging, and fading identification labels that made accurate inventory tracking almost impossible. That was intentionally done. They don't want you to track anything, because once you can track something, you can track for potential corruption. All of this, that server failure must have been intentional to throw off investigations. Getting FLA ramp, a big corruption are going down on FLA. I can just imagine the amount of criminals that probably have a hand in FLA right now. Unresolved corruption claims. While no, and this is the issue that Mr. Powell and other persons are having. And this is why Chang is so happy to run out. Because while no direct corruption charges were laid in this specific report, the IC highlighted serious procedural irregularities and ghost transactions, which led the opposition to demand a broader investigation. And I hope the opposition, I hope the opposition raises concern. You can see, ladies and gentlemen, where FLA intentionally erased transactions, data entries, and things alike so that they could throw off the investigators. Talking about system failure, it was intentional what they did. It's a disgrace, ladies and gentlemen. It is a disgrace. Big corruption. They sabotaged their own systems to escape the palms of justice. This is what Zulika Jess is talking about. This is what Zulika Jess was talking about in Parliament. The corruption of you understand what I'm saying? Yes, we know the court can't do nothing, ladies and gentlemen. We can't cuss the court. We can't cuss IC, to be very honest, because the IC and the courts can only work off what is provided as evidence. But to show you how far the FLA is willing to go to ensure that nobody goes to prison, they intentionally sabotaged their servers. They intentionally erased data. Because once you cannot track data, once you can't track entries, once you can't track information, you can't track corruption. That is why this government, the Andrew Wallace administration, them no love documents. How many times a year the Auditor General flag them for lack of documentation? Why you think they don't want to document anything? Why you think so much meetings go on and no meeting minutes are there? Why you think there is nothing written? It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace, ladies and gentlemen. It's a disgrace, man. I am disgusted at the type of corruption that we are experiencing. The opposition, they have raised an alarm and they are demanding for the resignation of Shane Dalling. Miss Curiosity Kid, really and truly, you're right. When it comes to IT, data cannot really be erased, if you get what I'm saying. So in other words, the data is somewhere. But the FLA is the only agency that knows where the data is. They know. I strongly believe the data is being stored somewhere. The data is somewhere. I wonder if the IC can get permission to get the IT experts and the hackers, because you know you have people who can hack. You have good hackers and you have bad hackers, you know. I wonder if we can get some international hackers or some local hackers. We can run through the FLA IT database system and pull up every Jack God Almighty thing, because really and truly when it comes to cyber, nothing is really lost. But let's see. The opposition though, they are demanding the resignation. And if the data is corrupted, you do have technology that can try and render data readable. So let's see. It's a whole lot of IT. It may be tampered with, and that's probably what they would have done. They probably created a virus to destroy parts of it or to corrupt it. And then, as Greek Jamaica is saying, that data being corrupted may not be used. It may not be accepted as proof when you really think about it. It's a whole lot, ladies and gentlemen. It seems as if the FLA, they are working with some highly skilled IT personnel. The corruption runs very deep. Let us hear from Fitz Jackson.
Parliamentary opposition spokesperson on national security. The findings in the Integrity Commission's report on the FLA are deeply troubling. The investigation confirms a fundamental breakdown of law, of order, and public trust at the very agency responsible for regulating deadly weapons in Jamaica. No head of entity, in this case the CEO, who presides over falsified records, missing ammunition, and conveniently destroyed evidence can remain in place for another day. The reflex response to the prevailing debacle at the FLA by Minister Chan, that the FLA is tightening its procedures, is plainly not enough. Any attempt by this government to protect and preserve the CEO in his post will only serve to signal their own complicity in these confirmed failures that impacts the security of every single Jamaican. The People's National Party demands a full, independent investigation and that the findings be made public. Public trust cannot be sacrificed for the loyalty of any individual, whoever that person happens to be. In light of what we know, the CEO, Mr. Dalling, ought to and must resign now.
Well, the opposition, as you've heard, ladies and gentlemen, they are asking for an independent investigation. I guess it would be maybe outside of the Integrity Commission. We have about nearly 800 viewers. Can we get the likes up, ladies and gentlemen? Let us get the likes. Remember, we're aiming to get 500 likes every time we are streaming. Right? So the opposition, they are demanding that Shane Dalling leaves, and they want an independent investigation into the matters up by FLA. And probably that's the reason why, sweetie, they took so long to table the report, because they had to do all sort of hanky-panky. Let me take back this call. Sister, hello. I think this is Sister Hello calling me. Let me call her back. Hello.
Hi, Mr. Perry. Good night.
Blessings, man.
To you, our listeners, yes. I want to ask you one question.
Yes.
And you give me an answer. Tell me something. Do you see it necessary for opposition to stay in the house with those type of people?
No, sir.
People do not have any ears. They have no integrity. They have nothing at all. All of them spot up in there now. Everyone of them spot up in there.
They should go.
And all the talk what the opposition want to talk aloud, it just going through one ear and coming through the other. They are doing their own thing. No, with this FLA business here, then take it as a joke. And remember that the councillor lady did say that nobody cannot talk to no one beside, then must be the leader and the wife. Can go talk to them?
Can you imagine?
So nobody cannot talk to them about nothing at all. So quite like, there's a other piece there what say that who assign signature for who up at UHWI. You hear that piece?
Yes, we're going to go into it after the break. We're going to take our break and
Tell
come
me
back.
something. How can every day day we get up stomaching all of these wrong things. And all the opposition have been talking now to find out and the full interest them put in towards the integrity of the country to move on. And so the people them ignore it and India with them make and the anti self. What am I teaching people them coming up?
Yes.
What am I teaching pick them coming? You know, so things like this cause them fear this big old thing up there in the water right now because of the negligent in the country. And people sit down with them. And that's why they're out here. Up then the big thing there in the water with what they pan it. I want if them things don't go through over so one then come for wheat, you know. Because anything things over there to drop and wheat out here.
Yes.
And just over the one. And then take me for damn puppy show. Then take us for nothing here. That's why they come out here try the thing. Because even if who go down and who go down out here, them don't care backside enough for them water. People should get up on their feet and make them see the water down, they storm up with people and make them fucking come out of the place. Excuse me.
Yes, take your time.
Leave out of the place because their system, everybody sit down and Uncle be looking no action and that them want. You think so they start playing the same thing over with head and over with head. You think so they got to know one special from what pee from when a pee? You look to pick the foot lick off, all sort of lick off, that gone, all type of something. Whenever know the people out of the place. I see to see them after get up the water and the water side, they should have storm with people. Make them sister with them out here. Make we go back to the old time days. Yes, there's no problem with that. And then go along with them go. I feel this stupid behavior right through and through make you find so them down here. Because they take we for guinea pig down here. Because we name we call it name what? Guinea pig we test upon him.
Yes.
Because we are black people. God Almighty, man, we sick and we tell every day, nothing take with the fear. I forgery, and them so damn dry with it and stand up in a parliament like them a smaddy. Now one of the damn tie can squeeze up their neck. With them damn tongue out of their head. Those wicked people like so they're innocent. They one prophet so well and saying this 26 year. What I go happening now. But I want if you come. My master got to step in because it's too much. Every day is something, and the people them don't see it. And no say we are for our own self. We are get mashed up, we picnic get mashed. What for them picnic there? Where for them picnic there?
The children are quite alright.
Hungry out here and the worry for price and something. We can't buy nothing to eat. And then they take them sneaking self and come in the country. We not in them and we are friends with them and then damn visa. When you back look on here we and they start fly the thing all over the place. Them don't know say the thing when they're in Jones. They say a thing we can drop something down here and mash it up. Around them damn fool people. Oh no get up and run out the people and out of the place for them and go back up and work up there. And go about them damn business. We do not accept them and we not appreciate them down here. All vagabond, all thief, all robber them. We sick and tired right now, man. The people can't rest now. I make the country move for take out the damn criminal and robber them and thief. And bring in the decent people with integrity and your integrity. Them not got none. A forge paper with all people's signature. They say, you look like a thief in family where them come from. Don't say a thief hot egg and a name hot egg or a thief egg go. Backslide. Hello. Good night to you, man.
Alright, thank you.
Sister.
Alright, sister, hello. Take your time. Alright.
Foot, man.
Boy, sister, hello, upset. It's Sadie. Ladies and gentlemen, let us take our first break. When we come back, we're going to revisit the university hospital's saga. Apparently, this man never knows that his signature was being used to give the go-ahead. You cannot make this up. Jamaica is a party shop. The JLP administration, they have failed Jamaica, you know. The Andrew Holness administration is the incubator for all that is corrupt to thrive and to live and to just prolong. It's like this JLP government, it is the worst They are the breeding ground for corruption. But you know, Mark Golding said it. If the head of the stream is corrupt, if the head of the stream is corrupt, we soon come.
Where we are with the JLP are going with Perspective family. Big up yourself, blood and fire comrades. I is asking for a change. We have to mash down Babylon, time come now. Andrew them a wrap up the money like wow. Them turn taxpayers in a big cash cow. The people them work for nothing, big fiasco. Time come for people fi start unite. Time come fi protect the human right. Time come JLP no have no plan. The plan is to kill, destroy, steal and rob. The devil is loose, my friend, and he loves the color green. Hey, yeah. No.
And Pearl Therapy, we are here to help you to bring ultimate relaxation to your feet. Our hot stone, Swedish and deep tissue massage services are here to help you to get rid of tensions, minor swellings and aches and pain, increase flexibility and circulation. If you are having any heart or circulatory diseases, then this might not be for you. Reach out to us and let's see if you can secure yourself with a foot massage for as low as $4,500. Thank you for choosing Pearl Therapy, the healing hub.
Are you frustrated with your skincare? Are you tired of acne, blemishes, scars, sagging skin, wrinkles, discoloration? Why not enjoy our wide array of products from skin, hair, and personal care? Place your frustration on our shoulders, and we will get you smiling again. The power of our products are in our formulation and ingredients. Listen to our customer testimonial. This is what she has to say.
Oh my gosh, look at my face. I've been using these products for a year, exactly 1 year. If you have not tried them, you need to try them. They really work. Look at my skin.
Visit our website or contact us at 917-557-6204. Make it Tony and Organics and order yours today.
Food is designed to be felt, not just tasted. Soft warmth, gentle richness, a harmony that melts effortlessly on the tongue. At Cummings Exquisite Caterers, every dish is an invitation, guided by passion, finished with elegance. We cater for life's most meaningful moments, elegant weddings, private celebrations, and much more. With a serene repast center just 10 minutes away from 2 major cemeteries. We are located at 38 Dublin Spanish Town Road. Reach out to us, 876-573-9124. Cummings Exquisite Caterers, where desire meets dining.
Our first social media question tonight comes from Instagram. Shania in Kingston, she says, low voter turnout suppresses the effectiveness of a democratic society. Many Jamaicans refuse to vote because they believe both parties are corrupt. What would you say to the significant population of non-voters? And if elected, how will you hold politicians accountable for offenses against the people instead of protecting them?
So in this instance, the question, you have 90 seconds to answer, and we begin with Dr. Holness.
Corruption is a serious problem in our country, and corruption requires strong leadership. From my position as Prime Minister, I have taken action against any member of my political party that has been involved or accused of anything that suggests corruption. In my own case, I have been investigated for a year with an expert forensic auditor. The findings of that report have suggested no corruption. There have been no charges. Every aspect of my report, every aspect of my personal life and my personal financial details are in the public domain. I am the politician about which Jamaica knows the most. And therefore, I am the politician who can stand with the greatest moral authority to treat with any matter that is considered corrupt, as I have done in the past. And I want to give this assurance to the Jamaican people that you know me, you know about me, you can trust me, and you know that I stand against corruption.
Mr. Golding has the opportunity to respond to that social media question as well. Within
Andrew, what they know about you is that you have 28 bank accounts, that you received several $1 million in cash deposits from anonymous donors in your bank account, that your companies had transactions of over $400 million, several thousand transactions between them, and that Positive Jamaica Foundation, a non-profit which you are intimately connected with, provided resources which you use for personal investments through your personal company. We have signed the Leadership Code of Conduct developed by Integrity Commission. All of our spokespersons and myself have signed. None of your people have signed it. I am committed to ensuring that all members of the executive, when we form government, will have their Integrity Commission declarations published, not just the leader of the opposition and what should happen, but hasn't happened in your case because you're not certified, the Prime Minister. So the whole question that has been asked is an excellent question. And we really need to step up our vigilance against corrupt behavior, nepotism and cronyism. The volume of scandals under this Jamaica Labour Party government is unprecedented. Over the number of ministers who have had to be removed from frontline duty, many of them parked in the naughty corner in OPM rather than being sacked. It is a disgrace to the country, and your personal situation where you're operating under a deep cloud because your Integrity Commission declarations are not certified, also is something which Jamaica cannot go forward with.
Me ever fresh, me no green.
Me coulda never green, dog. Me no chow chow. No. Ha 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 ho ho. Who ya know?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is The Perspective, and I'm your host, Perry Cummings Jr. I hope that you're all doing well. Remember to like the live, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching and you're not yet a subscriber, please subscribe. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, and we're appreciative of all the support. Feel free to support the super chat as well. We're going to be talking about the University Hospital up there, and I know Jamaica Love. They have been waiting for me to touch this topic for some time. And it is definitely on the schedule tonight. Let us look deeper into the I don't know how my signature. You cannot make this up, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot make this up. Listen to this nonsense. The man said that it wasn't me. Sounded like Shaggy. It wasn't me. Listen to this.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. I don't know how my signature got there, former CEO of the University Hospital of the West Indies, Kevin Allen, as he distanced himself from documents bearing his signature more than a year after he left office. Now, the issue was among those discussed at Tuesday's sitting of the Public Accounts Committee.
Former CEO of the University Hospital of the West Indies, Kevin Allen, was expected to answer questions surrounding documents signed in his name after he demitted office in 2022. Instead, his appearance before the Public Accounts Committee left the members with more questions than answers.
The form that you signed was just for internal purposes. The form that you did sign in advance, just for emergency, was for internal purposes only.
Yes, madam.
However, the form that we're talking about, that is not a form that you left.
No, madam. So
how did your signature reach on those forms?
I don't know. I cannot explain that. I don't know.
A year after you left.
I am not a member of the team. I have not participated in the management of the organization. I don't know.
During a previous meeting of the PAC, acting CEO of the Jamaica Customs Agency, Kirk Benjamin, revealed there were instances where Mr. Allen's signature was on the C-80.
So them are fire, and if the enemy are fire, you can't stand up like stooge. You can't go on like a fool. You have to fire back. Somebody load up and say, pop, 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 pop.
God. Badam, bam, bam, bam. Jesus Christ. What is what? Bam, bam, bam. Jesus Christ. War tonight, Bishop. Warfare tonight. Warfare.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. I don't know how my signature got there, former CEO of the University Hospital of the West Indies, Kevin Allen, as he distanced himself from documents bearing his signature more than a year after he left office. Now, the issue was among those discussed at Tuesday's sitting of the Public Accounts Committee.
Former CEO of the University Hospital of the West Indies, Kevin Allen, was expected to answer questions surrounding documents signed in his name after he demitted office in 2022. Instead, his appearance before the Public Accounts Committee left the members with more questions than answers.
The form that you signed was just for internal purposes. The form that you did sign in advance, just for emergency, was for internal purposes only.
Yes, madam.
However, the form that we're talking about, that is not a form that you left.
No, madam. So
how did your signature reach on those forms?
I don't know. I cannot explain that. I don't know.
A year after you left.
I am not a member of the team. I have not participated in the management of the organization. I don't know.
During a previous meeting of the PAC, acting CEO of the Jamaica Customs Agency, Kirk Benjamin, revealed there were instances where Mr. Allen's signature was on the C85 form submitted to Customs for Jackden and Supreme Laundries, two companies which benefited from the UHWI's tax exemption status. However, these documents were submitted for the period 2023 to 2024.
I don't know how my signature will reach on that document. I would not have signed such a document upon my departure. I don't know anything about that transaction whatsoever. So I am clueless where that is concerned, Chair.
He insists he drafted a letter when he demitted office of CEO instructing that his signature be removed from all accounts and other documents. Signatures aside, another issue from the last meeting also resurfaced. Former Chairman Wayne Chai Chung told the PAC that Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton overturned the board's decision to appoint a new CEO, prompting member Juliet Cuthbert-Flynn to request the minutes to substantiate those claims. And so, on Tuesday,
the minutes of the relevant periods were checked. Neither the minutes of the board meeting or minutes of the Board of Senior Directors speak to a decision to overturn the appointment of a candidate who was selected for the post of CEO.
To now hear from the UHWI, the minutes, to see that absolutely no such thing transpired. It is more than concerning to me.
While government members of the committee say the absence of the issue from the minutes raises questions about the accuracy of the claims, Peter Bunting issued this caution.
I'm sure members Main and Steve Wright know well that ministers, not all communication will go through the minutes of the board. Chairmen of boards can get a clear sense of where of what the wishes of the minister are without it being documented in board minutes. And the fact that they resigned shortly after seems to support the oral testimony or account given by the chairman here at this committee.
Ladies and gentlemen, two things. Something tells me that the former CEO is probably being truthful. Something tells me, and you know, the former CEO said, I don't know. He does not know. I'm not gonna swear for anybody, but a part of me feels as if he's probably being truthful. The truth is, ladies and gentlemen, what if the University Hospital, I should say, was forging signatures and using the man's signature to do all sort of hanky-panky business? What if they were using the signature of the former CEO to set up the man so that when the filth hits the fan, the current CEO can't get blamed for? You know, see how I go on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm not going to swear for him, but a part of me is pushing me to think along certain lines. What if, or true, he could have signed, he could have put his signature down on documents and gone. There are many ways you could look at it, but I wouldn't put nothing past this administration up by UHWI. They could have set up the man. Them could have put, if it was an e-signature, exactly, if it was an electronic signature, ladies and gentlemen, that is easy to replicate and to put on documents. So probably the man genuinely don't know how his signature reach for certain things. And with all the corruption happening up by UHWI Hospital, you can't put nothing past them, ladies and gentlemen. They can't put nothing past them. Whereas Jamaica love is remind us, remember, it's the same UHWI Hospital, you know, where 500 million in a contracts given without no proper oversight. We can't find no documentation, security, or collect money. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is the university hospital up there by Papine, where all sort of scandal run deep. What is to stop a corrupt place like UHWI Hospital from forging the man's signature, using the man's signature to do all sort of manner of evil? What moral compass them have up there to restrain them? There is nothing. There's nothing preventing them from doing it. Ghost employees at UHWI and all them something. What is preventing them from doing it? So it's one out of two things. It's one out of two things, you know. It's either the former CEO is lying and he's just saying that he forgot, like how Edward Siaga borrow how much money from what, Century Bank, and the member saying borrow money. So it's either the CEO is lying and him really and truly put him signature upon documents because he himself is benefiting though he is former CEO, or the CEO really and truly have nothing to do with what going up at UHWI, and the corrupt people them up at the UHWI place there, I use people's signature for do all manner of evil. Is one out of two things, ladies and gentlemen. All I know, everything that is happening at the university hospital should not be looked at as a separate issue from the failure when it comes to the leadership of the Ministry of Health. My problem with these conversations is that nobody wants to make the correlation to the failure that we've seen in the leadership of Mr. Christopher Tufton. That is my issue, ladies and gentlemen. Where is the Minister of Health in all of this? Don't tell me that he has nothing to do with it. Every hospital in Jamaica falls under the watch of the Minister of Health. How could such a corruption be happening for years and the Minister of Health don't know about it? As a matter of fact, when the people said that Mr. Tufton need to ensure that the people are fired, the man said there's no firing fix. Firing won't fix the problem. So you have corrupt people up at the university hospital still being paid, still getting benefits, still doing all manner of things, still getting them big paycheck. While all of this corruption is happening, the entire thing needs to be overhauled, revamped. The leadership need for change. But nobody wants to do that. So I don't want anybody to try and separate the issues. Huh? I don't want anybody to separate the issues. The truth is, ladies and gentlemen, the truth is that the Minister of Health is responsible for what is happening up there. For all I know, ladies and gentlemen, the university hospital is one big corrupt scamming ring. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace, ladies and gentlemen. But if the head of the stream is corrupt, then we can expect more of these things to happen. What in the dark must come to light. Fraud is coming up in my mind. The word fraud is coming. And listen to me, Integrity Commission, you might have to go do some other investigation, you know. Mocha, boy, Mocha in the office of the Prime Minister, so I don't really have no faith in them. Integrity Commission, you need to look into how is it that the former CEO don't know how his signature is on documents. How comes? Remember the advertisement at JPS? I wish advertisement say, how come? How come? How come, ladies and gentlemen? Doesn't make any sense to me. Let's talk about this quickly. The policeman who murdered Latoya Bulgin was charged with murder. Charged with murder. And we're going to get into that as well. But we're going to look at the fare hike, the ad hoc fare hike by Darrell Vaz. But you know, I'm going to read this article that I saw with the former CEO. Let's read this. Former University Hospital West Indies CEO can't explain how his signature appeared on customs document a year after leaving office. This is very serious. I want to read this article before I get over to Latoya Bulgin. Let's read. Former University Hospital of the West Indies Chief Executive Officer Kevin Hall told Parliament's Public Accounts Committee, the PAC, on Tuesday that he was clueless as to how his signature appeared on a customs document dated more than a year after he left office, prompting fresh scrutiny of the hospital's procurement and importation controls. Hall, who was summoned before the committee as part of its ongoing examination of a damning Auditor General report into the operations of the University Hospital, found himself at the center of intense questioning over a document that auditors said bore his signature despite him having left the institution in October 2022. My God. Hall, who spent decades at the University Hospital and served as its CEO from November 2016 until October 31st, 2022, was first asked to explain the hospital's practice in relation to customs forms used in the importation of goods. Chairman Julian Robinson pointed to concerns raised during the audit that some forms may have been signed in advance, potentially facilitating importation activities after Hall had demitted office. I think that's what most persons are thinking. In response, Hall acknowledged that a limited number of forms had occasionally been signed blank during his tenure to assist with urgent clearances. So let us just pause here. Julian Robinson was saying maybe Kevin Hall signed documents in advance, but Hall, the former CEO, is saying, well, a limited document limited documents me sign in advance, and that was normally to help with emergency procurements. I hope persons are following the conversation. Can we please like up the live? What were they? 374 likes. Let us get it to 400 right now, ladies and gentlemen. Let us get the likes up to at least 400. The aim is 500. Let's go. Let's continue to read. This is very, very interesting. However, he stressed that those forms were intended only for internal administrative purposes and should not have remained in use after his departure. Alright, yes, he said it's serious now. To facilitate emergency clearance, some of those forms, about 4 or 5 at a time, would have been signed blank. But let me hasten to say that the committee that upon submitting my resignation, a second letter was drafted to management informing management to remove my name from all accounts and other relevant documents that I would be required to sign in performing my duties. So it would have been unfortunate for someone to be using those documents after my departure. Hall told the committee. Are you getting the meat of the matter here, ladies and gentlemen? Kevin Hall covering basis. Kevin Hall said upon leaving, I wrote a letter informing management, informing the board of directors, informing everybody that me gonna take me name, me signature and everything off of the document them and off of, because I am no longer there. The man said it is rather unfortunate that after doing all of that, somebody would still be using those documents after his departure. He explained that the forms were typically handled by the hospital's Department of Materials and Contracts, which worked closely with customs brokers responsible for clearing goods imported on behalf of the institution. As the discussion progressed, Opposition Member of Parliament Peter Bunting, who represents Manchester Southern, questioned whether the practice of signing blank documents created unnecessary risk and could have opened the door to abuse. Good question, Mr. Bunting. In hindsight, this is the former CEO answering now. In hindsight, probably, but in operating at that level, there is some amount of trust. This is not a blank check. This is not a declaration. It's a document used for internal processes. It is managed by senior persons within the organization. And so I am wondering, after a year or whatever that I left the organization, why it would have been used. But it's something that the current management needs to look at and to implement additional controls. Hall replied, what a piece of cascas, ladies and gentlemen. The exchange took a dramatic turn when Auditor General Pamela Monroe Ellis, the Lord bless Auditor General Pamela Monroe Ellis, clarified that investigators were not referring to an internal administrative document, but to a customs form obtained directly from Jamaica Customs SYCU DA system. Mighty God. Based on what Mr. Allen is saying here, he's speaking to the letter, the concession letter, but it appears that Mr. Allen does not know that his signature is on a C-84 form that is dated the 25th of November 2023. Mr. Allen declared here just now that he left in 2022, and it is for that reason why I think there was that outreach to speak to you to clarify this, Monroe Ellis said. The clarification appeared to fundamentally change the discussion. Until that point, Hall had maintained that the only documents that may have carried pre-signed signatures were internal forms used to facilitate emergency processing. However, the customs document highlighted by the Auditor General was dated more than 12 months after he had left the hospital. See the cookie crumble now? Robinson then sought to distinguish between the internal forms Hall described and the customs document identified by auditors. So, Mr. Allen, what is before us is more than just a form for internal processes. This would be a form that would have authorized or certainly given customs the authority to act based on a signature believing that this is the chief accountable officer of the university hospital. So it would be more than just the internal document that would go for procurement departure with your signature, Robinson said. Hold on there, ladies and gentlemen. Want to see what is happening here? Is it much like Sugan? Is it much like Sugan? Like up the live, ladies and gentlemen. This is very interesting. This is very interesting now. This is very, 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 very interesting. This is very interesting. Wow. Faced with that information, Hall said he could not explain how his signature ended up on the document. Chair, in that case, this is Hall responding, former CEO. I don't know how my signature would reach on that document. I would not have signed such a document upon my departure. I don't know anything about that transaction whatsoever. So I am clueless where that is concerned here, he responded. Then here comes Government MP Juliet Cuthbert Flynn, who represents St. Andrew West Rural, repeatedly pressed Hall on the issue, noting that he appeared willing to acknowledge signing internal forms in advance, but was distancing himself from the customs document under scrutiny. She questioned how his signature could have appeared on the document if he had no involvement in the transaction and had been away from the institution for more than a year. Hall remained adamant that he had no explanation. I don't know. I cannot explain that. I don't know. I am not a member of the team. I have not participated in the management of the organization. I don't know, he said. Wow, he seems pretty defensive here. Boy, it rough. His answer drew a blunt response from Cuthbert Flynn. I am baffled, she said. This is absolute cinema. The issue forms part of the Auditor General's wider investigation into the University Hospital of the West Indies procurement and customs related practices. The audit identified instances where the hospital's tax-exempt status was allegedly used to facilitate imports for private entities, contributing to estimated losses of more than 23 million in duties and charges. By the end of Tuesday's exchange, Robinson suggested that Hall's testimony had raised new questions rather than settling existing ones. You had said all the documents may have been signed by you were solely for internal purposes, but not to trigger the procurement of goods through customs. So given that you have said categorically that you didn't sign those documents, then it raises other questions about how your signature, if it was your signature, or how a signature appearing to be one like yours came to be on those documents, Robinson said. Ladies and gentlemen, this is very serious here. Serious matters. Serious matters. Serious matters. Well, we want to observe how this will turn out. And, it is so serious what we are experiencing, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to touch on this before we go. We have about 10 minutes left before we reach our 2-hour mark rather. The policeman, and we're going to be following up that conversation up by the university hospital, because it sounds like fraud to me. Sounds like fraud to me. The former CEO said he can recall he admitted to signing documents for internal processes, around 45 documents at a time, but he cannot recall signing anything when it comes to the importation of goods rather of that nature from Supreme Laundry and Jack. It's a very serious conversation, because as Julian Robinson said, this is now raising some more concerns about fraud, and is this a wider issue? Is this now a can of worms opened? Because if this is really fraud, the forging of signatures, how many other signatures are being forged, and what other transactions and activities are being done without the proper checks and balances? Taxpayers' dollars going down the drain, paying. It is a whole mess. Before we go, we want to say tonight that the policeman charged with murder, the policeman that shot Latoya Bulgin dead, he was charged with murder in Latoya Bulgin shooting, and he was also denied bail. We love to make the distinction. Being charged with murder is not the same as being guilty of murder. He has to now be convicted. I hear that it is Mr. Isat Buchanan that is representing the family of Latoya Bulgin. I'm getting to understand, and we are expecting to follow that case very closely. We want to see what angles both parties will be coming from. We want to see what will be the outcome of this, because already we are hearing that the police is claiming that Bulgin threatened to mow down lawmen before fatal incident. Can you imagine? This is what the police is claiming already, ladies and gentlemen. Here the stories now coming from the police. Well, that video is going to work against you, Mr. Police. It's going to work against you, because that video makes it very clear, right, that Latoya Bulgin had no intentions of running you over or hitting you with the car. So that argument will not hold water at all. That is like a basket filled with holes. And that is the truth, ladies and gentlemen. Because in all honesty, based on the video footage, the viral footage, it is clear, ladies and gentlemen, that the vehicle was going into the opposite direction. So to say that Bulgin threatened to mow down lawmen before fatal incident, even if she threatened, even if she said it, did she do it? And a mere threat is not license for you, police officer, to fatally shot the woman. And of course we know that nationwide Mrs. Escobar would want to push the narrative that somehow there was some wrong on Bulgin's part. You know what would have clarified all of this, police? Where are the body-worn cameras? If we had the body-worn cameras, all of that could have been verified, and we would have known if it was true or not. But because your commissioner of police has failed, because the minister of national security has failed, because the Andrew Holness-led administration refuses to procure the amount of body-worn cameras needed to equip our police officers when they're going out, nobody knows whether your argument is even true. And even if she threatened you, if say me run down with this, that is not green light for you to shoot her. So I don't buy this argument. People can say anything. Freedom of speech. People can say anything, ladies and gentlemen. People can tell, listen, and I am not here encouraging people to spew profanities at the officers. Neither am I saying that the police officers should do same. We must all respect each other. But if a civilian in frustration says something rude to a police officer, the police officer is the one that was trained to be disciplined. The police officer is the one that went through rigorous training to know how to restrain him or herself. Are you telling me that these police officers are so thin-skinned that a mere threat by a woman is your excuse for shooting her? Because that is really what you're saying now in a police. That because Latoya Bulgin threatened, because she threatened you, is that your justification for shooting her? Listen, that CCTV footage, Greek Jamaica, is the nail in the coffin for this police officer. Because even if Latoya Bulgin said that, which we don't have proof of, because you never did that where nobody won camera, the Indicom reports makes it very clear. None of you police officers in Granville St. James that day were wearing body-worn cameras. So there's absolutely nothing to aid you in a credible argument to justify the fatal shooting of Latoya Bulgin. You cannot say that she had a weapon. You can't say she was trying to inflict harm. You can't say anything at all. Because there were no body-worn cameras there. So you, the JCF, blame your boss, police officer. Blame Commissioner Blake. Blame Commissioner Blake. Because I only know one wear body-worn camera. But that CCTV footage, ladies and gentlemen, it is the nail in the coffin for this case. I am no prophet, but I believe with all my heart that this man will be found guilty of murder. I hope remember come with no manslaughter foolishness. This, I believe wholeheartedly that this police officer will be charged for murder. It is clear based on the CCTV footage. When the experts analyze the video, replay the video over and over, dissect the video, it is clear that the vehicle was going into the opposite direction of the police officer in question. The lock was to the right, and when the vehicle went off, it was going into the opposite direction. And the DPP see that already, Ashani Marcus. The DPP see that already. And that is enough evidence to show you, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what is going to work against this police officer too? The fact that it is said that there is a connection between Latoya Bulgin and the murder of the 17-year-old the week before. Is it true that they are cousins? I heard that they are cousins. The 17-year-old that was shot and killed too, and Latoya Bulgin, they were related. And the fact that this was a protest against fatal police shootings, extrajudicial shootings. One could argue that the police was angry, he was aggravated, he had malice, he had malicious intent. And because of that, ladies and gentlemen, he acted on impulse. He acted on impulse. And the words of Comrade Troop said basically that Latoya Bulgin's death was a targeted exercise. Those words coming from these officials and on the ground, it is going to come back to bite this police officer. It's a sad day because we continue to lose our Jamaicans. And I believe with all that is happening with the United States here, USS Nimitz, and with the international human rights groups looking on, I believe the government will use the opportunity to make an example out of this one. They're going to do it for the optics. I believe this man is going to be found guilty. I would be surprised if he is found innocent. But I can tell you this, if he is found innocent, it will be pandemonium in Jamaica. Mark my words, if this man is found not guilty, that is going to be the spark to a civil unrest that will start in Granville, because the people are not watching, The people are saying, all right, the police officer was charged. They're waiting to see that he is convicted. Sam Sharp's Square would come alive again. History would repeat itself. A rebellion would have to break out. Because the people they're going to be watching. The world is watching DPP. The world is watching Andrew Holness. The world is watching Commissioner of Police. The world is watching. The world is watching. That's all we have the time for tonight. Thank you for sticking and staying with me. Tomorrow, join me at 3 o'clock for Clarion Call for an hour where you get to call in and we engage our callers on these matters. Certainly we have a lot to talk about tomorrow. Today was a wonderful day in Parliament. Peter Bunting doing well, showing his experience in his sectoral debate. Zulika Jess, certainly the talk of the town. She blazed a comrade fire, a blood and fire type of fire in Parliament today, calling out the Ministry of Justice, calling out Mr. Chuck, calling out the Andrew Wallace administration, calling out their incompetence and driving home the notion that justice is for everybody and the people want justice. It was a brilliant day and definitely a win in my book for the People's National Party. The People's National Party, they have been doing well. We remembered they're on a roll, I might add, from the FLA report being tabled. It was the People's National Party that fought for the tabling of the report, even though the House of Representatives, the Gordon House, didn't want to do it. The Speaker of the House didn't want to do it. The President of the Senate didn't want it to be tabled. Leader of Government Business didn't want it to be tabled. I remembered Mark Golding standing firm and tall, demanding that it be tabled, and they had to table it. And now it is available for the public to see and to look into the corruptions at the FLA. Now the opposition, they are demanding for the resignation of Shane Dalling. Let's see how everything unfolds. Let us pray. Father, we give you thanks for your mercies. We give you thanks for your grace. Thank you for your love and your kindness toward us. Indeed, if it had not been for you on our side, where would we be? When we look at what is happening in this country, certainly corruption is a big problem. And Lord, we see where friends and special interest groups continues to protect each other, trying to escape the jaws of justice. But Lord, as the young lady in Parliament today echoed the sentiments of the average Jamaican citizen, the poor and the vulnerable, we want justice, we want equity, we want to see a change. And Lord, we're asking you as a God of justice and truth to help us to advance these conversations even further and to see change in our justice system. Lord, so many Jamaicans are hopeless right now. We are officially in the hurricane season, and when we look in Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James and other places, the people, they are uncertain as to what will happen over the next couple of weeks, the next couple of months, the next couple of days, because we are certainly in experiencing unpredictable weather. Lord, I pray that you will protect them. Send help, send help. I know that there are good Samaritans right around, all over the world. Send them to Jamaica, directly to the people, so that the people can be assisted. These and other mercies we ask of you. In Jesus' name we pray, and let the people say amen and amen. Ladies and gentlemen, let us continue to like the live and subscribe if you've not yet subscribed. Let us continue to share the platform. All the comrades, share the platform with your comrade friends so that we can get to 10,000 subscribers. I believe in my heart that the best is yet to come. See you tomorrow on Clarion Call at 3 p.m. Bye-bye.
Perspective family. Big up yourself every time Perry the General. Go and do it, comrade. The word is love. Where we are go do? Police them a kill off use the tree on the roads. Where we are go do? The price gone up on the JLP let loose. Where we are go do? Times hard and politicians don't have a clue. Where we are go do? Where we are go do? Aye, time for trust and keep the faith to help us win this race. Poor people now no food, all them see a empty plate. And the rich them getting richer, them fi burn up in the lake. Promises they make, but enough of them are fake. But black love divide, put politics aside. A time for we unite, a time for do the right. We have to start by speaking truth and not the lie. Perry set the trend, we have to unite. Pressure it a boil, farmers them a toil. And all our work them no see nothing at all. We can't segregate, we can't separate. Put aside the war, time for love not hate. Pressure it a boil, farmers them a toil. And all our work them no see nothing at all. We can't segregate, we can't separate. Put aside the war, time for love not hate. Lightning and thunder for the JLP. Oh. Corruption in the nation. What a sticky situation. Always see a degradation. Innocent men at the station. Andrew and his cronies getting richer, them a big done. Talking about them helping out the poor. Tell me which one. Juliet, a speaker of the house, me can't believe it. Them mashing the housing trust, but people are go feel it. The JLP, them satanic and demonic. Now walk it, the use them prosper, only fit them pocket. I beg is hamping. Corruption in the nation. What a sticky situation. Always see a degradation. Innocent men at the station. Andrew and his cronies getting richer, them a big done. Talking about them helping out the poor. Tell me which one. Juliet, a speaker of the house, me can't believe it. Them mashing the housing trust, but people are go feel it. The JLP, them satanic and demonic. Now war fit the use them prosper, only fit them pocket. I beg you stop it.